Hi, can everyone hear me? If you can, you could just use the reaction button if for those that you know. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, can I have everyone please join me in Gasho? Thus I, Gutoku Shinran, disciple of Shakyamuni, through reverently accepting the exposition of Vasubandhu, author of the treatise, and depending on the guidance of Master Shandao, departed everlastingly from the temporary gate of the myriad practices and various good acts, and left forever the birth attained beneath the twin solid trees. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Well, hello everyone, and I hope you all are doing very well this week. I know it's been especially cold, and I hope everyone is getting ready for the upcoming week, which seems to indicate a lot of wet weather. So um, I'm hoping that you guys take care of yourselves in the coming week. But this quote that I have up right now is from Shinan Shonin's the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism's most known work called the Kyogyo Shinsho. This quote in particular is come comes from the sixth chapter the, on the transformed Buddha bodies and lands. In this section, Shinan describes his practices going from what he did on Mount Hiei to the practice of just saying Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And here, Shinan says that he did hard practice, that he meditated for a long period of time to attain, as I well, as I have bolded, oh, excuse me, as I have bolded here, the birth attained beneath the twin solid trees. So this is a birth that one attains when one does hard practices. And Shinan Shonin is saying here that he stepped away from attaining that birth between the twin solid trees. And I wanted to bring this up because earlier on, Reverend Koyama in earlier this month talked about Nirvana Day. And Nirvana Day, as Reverend Koyama discussed, occurs or we celebrate it on February 15th. Always during this time of year, I'm actually reminded of something that happened within my life that pertains to this so-called Nirvana Day, well, the birth between the twin solid trees that Shakyamuni Buddha attained. And this story goes like this. One day, as a teenager, I decided to rearrange my room, rearrange the furniture in my room. And so I decided to sketch out my room as something kind of like this, right? My bed on the left with the dresser underneath, and my desk and chair opposite of my bed. So I thought this was a very good layout for my room. And so I went to my family, and as they were going to help me move the furniture, and when I showed it to them, my mother said no. And as a teenager, when your parents say no, you want to know why. And the just because answer doesn't work anymore. So after further questioning, my mother told me that her mother, my grandmother, said that it was not a good idea to ever point the bed in which when you lay down on it, that your head points to the north. And so when, as a fourth generation Japanese American who has grown up in America, I don't know too much about Japanese culture. And so as years went on by, I did a little bit more studying on Japanese culture. And I came across this phrase, Kitamakura. So, for those of you who do not know, I will dissect the Chinese characters for you. So, kita means north, and makura means pillow. In Japanese culture, it is unwise for someone to have sleep with their pillow facing north because in Japanese culture, it means death. So once I realized this, I understood what my mother and ultimately my grandmother was trying to tell me, that in Japanese culture, it is unwise for one to point their bed facing north. And as an older person, I was wondering how this cultural superstition came to be. And so I looked a little deeper and I thought the connection between Japanese culture and Buddhism was became super interesting because Kitamakura comes from this. It comes from this idea of the birth attained beneath the twin solitaries. So Shakyamuni Buddha died between twin solitaries. His physical being perished. And he asked to be laid down with his head pointed to the north and facing west. So there are many Buddhist cultures or cultures in general that are Buddhist, that have Buddhist communities that will not allow their residents to have their beds pointing to the north because of this reason. This is how Shakyamuni Buddha passed. In various Pure Land traditions, one is expected to pass away with them lying down with their head pointed to the north and facing toward the west, as it is a sign of not only enlightenment, but also of the direction of the Pure Land, Amida Buddha's Pure Land. So this understanding of Japanese culture fascinated me. So this was the reason why I, as a teenager, was not allowed to have the bed pointed to the north. Now going back to the quote that I had at the beginning of Shinan Shonin saying that he turned about from this hard practice of birth attained beneath the twin solitaries, it focuses on the reason why us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists say Namo Amida Butsu. We say Namo Amida Butsu because we as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists cannot do the hard practices that Shakyamuni Buddha did. And so we say Namo Amida Butsu because we know that through the primal vow, as Shinan Shonin has taught us, we are able to attain the same enlightenment as Shakyamuni Buddha through the power of Amida Buddha, the other power of Amida Buddha. And so the section that Shinan Shonin said encourages us to, if you would like, you're welcome to do hard practices. But as me, as Butoku Shinan, I myself have decided to walk the path of just saying Namo Amida Butsu. And as Jodo Shinshu followers, we realize what Shinan Shonin said was true, and thus we say Namo Amida Butsu, not only in gratitude to the teachings of Shinan Shonin, but as to the workings of Amida Buddha, who helped emancipate us from this realm of suffering. So in conclusion, can I have everyone please join me in Gasho as we say Namo Amida Butsu to the various workings of Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Namo.